Remember the excitement of flipping through the toy catalogs, circling every dream item, and hoping Santa got the memo? Let's jump back to the era of neon colors, synthesizer music, and big hair. That's right, we're heading to the 1980s. A time when Christmas morning meant pure, unfiltered joy, and a mountain of wrapping paper flying everywhere. But what were the toys that made kids' eyes widen and parents break out in a cold sweat as they searched store shelves? Buckle up, because we're diving into the must-have toys that defined the holiday season in the 80s. First up, we have Cabbage Patch Kids. These weren't just dolls. They were the catalyst for absolute chaos in department stores. Remember the stories of parents lining up at 4 a.m. eyeing each other with the intensity of gladiators? It wasn't just about getting a doll, it was about adopting one. Each came with a unique name, adoption certificate, and a chubby-cheeked face that made kids squeal with joy. If your parents came through and secured one, Christmas morning was a win. If not, well, that's what tearful letters to Santa were for. Then there was the Rubik's Cube, a simple cube with 54 colored squares that turned into a puzzle worthy of Mensa membership. Every kid thought they'd be the one to solve it, until they realized it was easier to just peel off the stickers or take the whole thing apart and reassemble it. Who needed YouTube tutorials when you had sheer determination and the ability to creatively declare victory? Light Bright made art glow. There was something magical about plugging those little colored pegs into black paper and watching your masterpiece light up. The downside? Finding those pegs in the carpet for months afterward. Parents might have had to shield their eyes when they saw the electric bill. But for kids, it was a small price to pay for neon joy. And let's not forget the G.I. Joe action figures. This wasn't just a toy line. It was a call to arms for living room battles. Couches became fortresses, tables turned into mountains, and even the cat ended up as an innocent bystander. G.I. Joe was the epitome of cool with his team fighting against the ever-plotting Cobra. It was an era where the biggest worry was whether your action figure had all its limbs intact after battle. Every kid who had My Little Pony knew they were stepping into the magical land of Equestria. These ponies, with their colorful manes and cute cutie marks, brought whimsy and wonder to playtime. Sure, the hair was never as perfectly silky as in the commercials, but if you didn't end up swiping Mom's hairbrush to fix Rainbow Dash's mane, were you even playing right? Transformers were more than meets the eye, and the commercials made them look like the coolest thing to ever hit the toy aisle. One moment, you had a simple car or plane. The next, you had a robot ready to save the day. That is, if you could actually transform it without breaking off a leg or losing a wheel in the process. The kids who could flip Optimus Prime into truck mode flawlessly, they were legends. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe introduced us to the concept of power fantasies, complete with battle cries of, "I have the power." He-Man toys were built for epic, muscled showdowns. Skeletor, with his cackling voice, wasn't just a villain, he was an inspiration for every kid practicing their most villainous laugh. Care Bears weren't just stuffed animals, they were guardians of love, friendship, and all things good. From Tenderheart Bear to Grumpy Bear, each character had a personality and a belly badge that made them special. And let's face it, who didn't look up at the sky at least once and try a Care Bear stare when someone needed cheering up? Simon, with its beeping lights and color patterns, was the game that tested your memory and your patience. Red, blue, yellow, green. Easy enough, right? Until you realized your brain could only handle about 4 moves before making that unfortunate error. The sound of Simon's failure buzz still haunts many who dared to challenge it. Teddy Ruxpin was the friendly bear that read stories, moving his eyes and mouth as he went along, Some kids found him endearing. Others thought he was a bit unsettling, especially if he malfunctioned. But nothing beat popping in a cassette and hearing your favorite tales read aloud, even if Teddy sometimes got mixed up and started jamming out to Dad's music tapes by accident. Star Wars action figures were essential for any young Jedi or aspiring Sith Lord. These toys brought the galaxy far, far away right into your living room. Lightsaber battles on the kitchen table and TIE fighters soaring through the hallway were just another day when you had Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader by your side. For those kids who couldn't have a real puppy, pound puppies were the next best thing. With their floppy ears and sad puppy eyes, these plush pals were irresistible. The best part: you could name them whatever you wanted, and they didn't require walks or cleanup duty. Plus, no begging involved. Speak and Spell was a futuristic marvel. It was educational, sure, but the robotic voice with its glitchy pronunciation made it oddly entertaining. Kids felt like they were holding a piece of the future in their hands, and it even made them feel a bit like E.T. phoning home. Summer days in the 80s wouldn't have been complete without the slip and slide. Sure, it wasn't a Christmas morning find, but who didn't dream of having one waiting under the tree? That is, until someone hit a hidden rock and learned the hard way that safety regulations in the 80s were a bit relaxed. The pogo ball brought a whole new level of fun to the yard. Balancing on a rubber ball sandwiched between two platforms was as difficult as it looked. But if you managed to master it, you were the king or queen of the block. And when it popped, well, time to beg for a new one. The Snoopy snow cone machine was a must-have for any young dessert aficionado. It may have involved a lot more cranking and muscle than anticipated, but the payoff of flavored icy slush on a hot day was worth every turn. When it came to video gaming, the Atari 2600 was the king. With games like Space Invaders and Pac-Man, it was a pioneer in home entertainment. The graphics were blocky, the gameplay simple, but it opened the door to what video gaming could be. The Koosh Ball was proof that the simplest toys often brought the most joy. A rubbery, squishy sphere of fun that was perfect for tossing around, playing catch, or squeezing in moments of boredom. The only downside? Once it hit a tangle of hair, there was no saving it. Then came the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, which truly took gaming to the next level. Unwrapping an NES on Christmas was like opening a portal to another world where Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda ruled supreme. The Orange Duck Hunt Zapper Gun was practically a rite of passage, and it never missed a chance to spark sibling rivalries. And how could we forget the ultimate in luxury? The Barbie Dream House. Complete with its elevator, pool, and chic plastic furniture, the Dream House was the mansion every Barbie collector dreamed of. Sure, the elevator was more manual pulley than smooth ride, but Barbie always looked fabulous, and that's what mattered. Finally, we come back to the toy that reigned supreme, the Cabbage Patch Kid. Not only did it kick off the biggest toy craze of the decade, but it became a cultural icon, appearing in Christmas specials and even parades. Owning one of these squishy-cheeked wonders was like holding a badge of honor. If your parents managed to snag one, they were Christmas heroes. So, which of these toys made your wish list, or still hold a special place in your heart? Let us know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching. See you on the next one.